Alright, welcome back. This is Cult of Elections, and today we're going to be talking about the 2024 election night scenario that has Marco Rubio being the Republican nominee and Kamala Harris being the Democrat nominee. I certainly think this is a very possible thing to happen. And as I go ahead and fill out some obvious safe states, I'm going to talk about, I think Marco Rubio would probably be a better choice for Republicans in 2024 than a huge field of candidates. We obviously don't know if Trump's going to run yet. But I think, obviously, in the future, changing demographics, shifting, public calls for things, Republicans need to move away from traditional conservatism. And I think Rubio would be the candidate to do it. And then you compare that with the fact that Harris would not be a very good candidate as it is. And again, that's just my opinion, but yeah. Alright, so I can go over Missouri and South Carolina, but I think I'd beat that to death, so safe. I mean, we know they really aren't going to flip anyways. So I'm going to keep him in the safe category here. And Alaska, too, I'd put in the safe category. Alright, so likely states here. I think Colorado and Virginia, to start, would stay in the likely category. And I think these are states that are rapidly changing into more Democrat. Definitely. I mean, in the 2000s, Virginia was a Republican state, and since then, it's kind of just shifted. It could be considered safe, but I think with Rubio's more liberal appeal, he might, could he win these? Yeah, we're 4 years out, but probably not. I think he keeps him out of the safe category. Likely states. Wow. I am really missing all the likely states. Okay. I could say that Maine's first district would remain likely. Wow. I guess that's all the likely states for Democrats here. And you can call me crazy, but that's just the way I see it. I think Texas remains likely, having a more prominent Hispanic candidate. And in my last video, Ted Cruz. I think a lot of, and they say the Hispanic vote doesn't exist, but I mean, if you look at Puerto Rico's 2016 Republican primary results, Rubio won in a landslide. And I think Ted Cruz is number 2, which just goes to show how much more likely they'd vote for a fellow Hispanic. Because in large ways they've kind of been ignored on the large scale, which is definitely fair to say. So Florida, I'd also put likely. It's Rubio's home state. Can't really see him losing this one, which would really give him a competitive edge over Harris in this way, in that he wouldn't have to visit it so much. And if he did, well, then he's got other problems on his hands. And I think that's it for likely states. So not a lot of likely states here. And I'll touch on that more later. So for lean states, I'll start with New Mexico, which you're probably wondering why I skipped over. You probably thought I missed it, but no. I think it has the most Hispanic voter bloc in the country, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think it flips to Republicans. Could it? Sure. And I think Rubio would be the guy to have it, go that way. But I don't think it ultimately does. I think it remains that way. I'll move over to Iowa and Ohio. And I'll say that, I think these are definitely the more Trumpy Republican states. So in terms of the swing states out there, I think the Trumpy Republicans may not latch onto him as much. I think he would still win these states, definitely. And for that reason too, I think Georgia would move from the tilt column to the lean column for Harris. I mentioned increased African American turnout in previous videos, and that kind of remains here too. I think that New Hampshire would also be more lean instead of likely, or even tilt, I guess. You know, because of the liberal appeal that Rubio might bring up there too. I think Minnesota will be surprisingly close. I know there was a huge shift between 2016 and 2020, but it could even be a tilt category. And could Rubio win that state? I think so. And Michigan too, I'd put in the lean category. Right, the increased African American turnout is what drives that too. Because, as you're going to see in a second, once I get to the more interesting states, I think because of the more liberal appeal, I think he takes back Nebraska's 2nd district, which would be the first flip from 2016. Oh, crazy flip, I know. We could also throw Maine at large in the lean category. And I think he keeps the 2nd district because of the more liberal appeal. Because, I mean, they aren't afraid to vote for Democrats. They voted for a Democrat into the House, yet they also voted for Trump in 2020. So, and then the same thing with Nebraska's 2nd district. They actually voted a Republican in the House, but voted for Biden for the president. So it just goes to show these can really go either way. But in this scenario, I think they go this way. And with the states that remain left, I think that North Carolina will get closer. However, I put in the tilt Republican column. And I say that because in the 2018 election, they actually went heavy Democrat. Heavy Democrat. I think it was 57% of the state voted for Democrat House member or something like that. But in 2020, they showed that despite that, they can still vote for Republican for president. And with a more liberal appeal Republican, I think he could just barely edge this one out here. And I think this would be a winnable state for Harris as well, definitely too. Again, I'd say, Ohio, Iowa, pretty much everything in lean category I'd say is winnable. And some of the likely ones too. Florida is probably not, to be honest, but okay. And, I mentioned Hispanic support before, and for that reason I'm putting Arizona and even, get this, Nevada in the lean category. Sorry, tilt category, because, Nevada's like a brick wall, really. But yeah, Nevada I'd put in the tilt category, Arizona in the lean category. This leaves a couple states left. Rubio he actually won the Republican primary in Minnesota. And yeah, I put that in the lean category, but this I'd put tilt Republican in this scenario, which puts him just 5 electoral votes away from actually winning the presidency. And I think in this scenario, Pennsylvania flips back to Republicans. And again, this could be very off. It involves a lot of tilt states. Keep that in mind. So I kind of have him barely edging this one out, despite being 284 to 254. It is possible that Harris wins Nevada, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Arizona, Maine's 2nd district, Nebraska's 2nd district. Did I mention Iowa and Ohio? Not sure. I can't really see her winning Texas or Florida in this situation, but I really see her as a bad candidate to choose. I think there's better ones that may voters may latch onto a lot better. Because I know there was a little bit of controversy with her being chosen. A lot of liberals didn't really like her as the VP pick for Biden. But, they still voted for him anyways. And it may turn out to be the same, where they end up settling for Harris. Just like the whole settle for Biden thing. But this is just the way I see it right now. In the year 2020, so 4 years out. Marco Rubio at 284. Kamala Harris at 254. Am I crazy? Leave a comment below. Am I right? Be sure to like the video. And leave a comment, I suppose. Yeah, but other than that, be sure to subscribe for more daily content. And I'll see you next time.